Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for being here today. President Mazzola, Ambassador Patster, Minister Valentini, and all our other distinguished guests. We are really honored to have you here today, and it's a time that, in lack of a different word, feel a bit heavy. I'm not sure how it's with you, but when you get up in the morning and you open the news, quite often I have sort of this feeling of uncertainty about the economy, or uncertainty about security, uncertainty about the direction of the world. And in these uncertain times, there's, however, one constant in Europe, and that is that we need to build a resilient future for Europe. And such a future is built with strong institutions. It's built with very skilled people, but foremost, it is the innovation that creates the growth and the productivity that we need to have such a future. And that's why we're here, because AI and the ecosystem around AI is probably the main engine of resilience in Europe. Tonight we're celebrating some of the most fantastic European leadership, some champions that we have here. We have companies like Luxottica, Ciao Fabio, we have, where is the Circus Group, we have Servus Nico, and many others who are in this room today. They are the builders, they're the makers, they're the deployers of the next platforms. But before we continue celebrating, maybe allow me to some uncomfortable truths. And the first one is that the global AI race, specifically the race at the frontier, is not just moving very fast. It is also increasingly becoming a two-horse race. It's a two-horse race between the United States and China. And it's not just a contest that has to do with technological or economic leadership. It is also a contest for whether Western democratic values get baked into the future technologies. And that's what's at stake here. The second truth is, and that's probably an even more uncomfortable truth, that this potentially distant third place of Europe is not guaranteed at the moment. We see across India and the Middle East some very ambitious activities. We see big ambition matched with big investments, and very, very importantly, big and rapid adoption of technology. And that's a combination, as we know, will change the global scoreboard very, very rapidly. And there's also one more question that we should ask ourselves. How do we scale European leadership fast enough for this moment? And there are a couple of ideas that are floating around. One of them is sovereignty, tech sovereignty, and strategic autonomy. And again, personally, I have sympathies for some forms of digital sovereignty that we need. But if our response to the most transformative technology of our time is to wait until we can replicate every layer of the stack ourselves, then we will most definitely miss out the momentum that we have. Europe's challenge is not so much a sovereignty crisis. Europe's challenge at the moment is a relevance crisis. And you don't just create relevance by pulling up the drawbridge. Another very important part and another theme which I'm much more sympathetic towards is simplification. And I strongly agree with that goal. And Europe must roll back some of the mistakes, some of the barriers that we have built over the last decades. And if one is charitable, we could call the current simplification efforts as not very ambitious. But what do you expect if the same people that have been asked to reform the regulatory framework are the same people that just finished writing it? For every step that we have made forward currently on simplification, we seem to be making 2 steps backwards. But I think simplification is absolutely the right idea, but its execution is slightly underwhelming at the moment. And that brings me to the third way, the one that I believe the most in. I think that Europe should be backing what we uniquely do well. That's world-class science, that's design, that's engineering, And that's the ability to turn technology into trusted products that people actually want to use. And that's why I'm proud that there are so many champions here that drive this agenda. I'm specifically proud about Meta, about my company I represent here, with the partnership that we have on wearables with Luxottica, which will be the next computer platform. I'm absolutely convinced of that. When Europe leads in design and hardware, it doesn't just create products. It can reshape whole industries, and it can strengthen societies. But to do that, we have to stop holding ourselves back, holding this technology, this European technology leaders back with rules that were written yesterday. I give you one example here. These things here, you have experienced some of you. What's really special about them is it's the impeccable Italian design. The uniqueness of these glasses, however, is undermined by requirements for battery replaceability. That is not helping the location Europe as one of the tech leaders. So my message tonight is relatively simple. Europe does not need less ambition. Europe needs fewer self-inflicted barriers. What Europe really needs, however, is more confidence. And if we match our values with speed, our principles with investment, then Europe won't just participate in the AI era, we will lead it. And Meta, who I represent, is an American company, but we are invested here in Europe with our people, with partnerships, with our business, with the broader innovation ecosystem. And when Europe succeeds, then Meta succeeds as well. So let's keep building the pride and technology together. And I genuinely believe that we then can fall again in love with the future.